Happy Saturday, boys and girls. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the way I was wired, the way I was raised, the way I was taught, or something that I learned. Quite possibly it's something that I learned. I am not one to put weight or responsibility in another person. Let me elaborate on that. That means I do not allow the actions, identity, philosophy, intentions of another person affect me so deeply that it disrupts my thinking and my philosophy. To be specific, I don't give a damn if Trump was the devil himself. Still, I cannot or will not, or maybe have never ever put that much association, responsibility, obligation, or been closely tied to anybody that much to where they can incite rage in me. Rage and anger, deep rage and anger and fear. I'm just talking about Trump. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Of course, this could be applied to everything, to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, girlfriends, boyfriends, friends, teachers, anything. I've always been one to say, trust nobody, not even me. Visiting that statement I made years ago, it may be you can trust people to a degree. You can trust other people to a degree. Don't believe in them. Only believe in yourself. Because human beings will always do what's best for human beings, the individual. And you can't fault them for that. You can't fault another human being for having his own situation and his own blah, blah, blah. I can't think of the word. And his own intentions or his own obligations, his own responsibilities forefront. You can't fault him for that. And then now, to see what happened to Trump. He's getting COVID. We all knew it was gonna come down to there was gonna be some I hope he dies and good for him and karma coming back and chickens coming to roost and all of this stuff. I can't see being involved with anything outside of myself to the point that it rattles and unnerves some people. I'm just not wired that way. Maybe I'm empathetic, antisocial, independent. I don't give a damn what you want to call it. Because quite simply, I'm happy. And I've said before, apathy is probably the most underrated trait of happiness there has ever been. You can't fix everything. You can't cure everything. It's unsustainable to care and worry and have empathy for everything. You'll go crazy. And at the other end of the spectrum, to put so much faith or be involved or feel that this person A or this person B, be it the President of the United States, even your wife, even your girlfriend, even your mother or father, has limits to where how much they should affect you. I said that vaguely. What I really meant was me. You can break it down and, hammer out the logistics and the generalizations I made, but you get the idea. And I knew when he got the COVID, there was gonna be some, like I said, karma's coming back, chickens come to roost, that's what you get. CNN, put on CNN, oh Jesus, they go right to the mask thing. See, I told you, look at all these people having this thing, nobody has masks, and they all got corona now. All that can be talked about in a myriad of different ways. You can be sure, yeah, they all got the COVID, but what does that mean? That means they all got it, and the next thing you know, they'll be okay. They'll get it, they'll be done with it. Everybody else is gonna have to get it anyway. So what, they got it. It could come down to so what, they got it. Oh, they might die. Oh, this might, but no, they might not die. Is it not their choice? But then again, I don't want to get into this debate because that is not fairly, but that is reasonable to debate, have that debate, but that's a whole different subject. The whole wearing masks, the whole quarantine, like just like when the vaccine comes out, that debate, that's a reasonable debate and a reasonable discussion on how, one, the individual or the population, or how the individual handles the vaccine and the mask thing, that effect on the population, that is a reasonable discussion that's outside of what I'm talking about. I'm not saying wearing a mask right or wrong. I'm not saying that's what you get right or wrong. I'm just saying people's response to this event, to this other person. I don't give a damn if he was Jesus. I don't care if it was Jesus himself came back and knocked on my door and dropped the prophecy of the universe at my feet. Well, let's not be ridiculous. If I was to run up on something that great and to believe that I had run up on something that great, I would be affected. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Yes, it is. It's belief. These people believe. They believe that Trump or certain characters, the preacher at the church, the priest, the reverend, the police officers, have a maybe higher and are more reverent than what they really are. They're just human beings. And we may place them on this pedestal, give them a semi-God perception, have a semi-God perception of them to make it easy, because like I said before, God is something that you don't question. If you go ahead and you can have these figures in your life or in your situation to where you don't have to question if their philosophy is correct or if their doctrine is correct, you just accept it, that this is the way. It's easier that way. It's easier to say, all right, he said it, that's the way it's gonna be. It takes the thinking away from you. And I think once we elevate certain people or certain positions into that role or see them that way, and we start to believe in them and rely on them to protect us, which is another thing that I don't do. I don't rely on anybody to protect me at any level. This country's gonna be okay. We've been through bullshit like this before. Well, maybe not, but we're resilient, we're smart. We got an infrastructure. We got people talking about it. Sure, it's a little bit of chaos. And you know I love me a little bit of calamity and chaos. There's a lot of people out there who hate Trump, and it's a hysteria. It gets to the point, many a times I ask them why, they can't even tell me. They cannot tell me in a reasonable, practical way. They may come up with two or three anecdotes or analogies, and that's it. It's a hysteria. It's the cool thing to do. They kind of did the same thing to George Bush. And when I say they, I mean the right. And the right may or may not have done the same thing Obama. And the only reason I say may or may not is because I don't have intimate, close experience with the right as I do with most of the people on my timeline and Facebook and in life being liberal and left. So I'm sure there was some, get that nigger out of office, and that black man, and I can't stand his liberal, proper talking, stoic, mannerly ass. And for a country boy down in the middle of the country who chew tobacco and wear the same overalls every day and never change his drawers, if he wears drawers at all, that role, be him black or white, could irritate or irk a person like that. It's just different cultures, different ideas of what a man should be. And it's okay. Now the left wants to make gender a blur, and it shouldn't matter. And if you ask me, it's like the media or the left or somebody is trying to feminize everything. Testosterone is almost like getting wiped out. Everybody talks like a little sissy, male and female. Any aggressive talk or any kind of declarative aggressive statement, like when Richard Sherman did after the Super Bowl, when he just came out with all that adrenaline and it came out like that, he got smacked. But it was a long time ago, and we kind of recognized what happened, and we pivoted. We had time it was like the first one. We had pivoted, we looked at it, we had time to analyze it and digest it, then come out with something more than a knee-jerk reaction. But now, you hear people talk, it's like talking like a little sissy girl. Like like you're talking to kids, like kids talking to kids, or adult talking to kids, the way they want to make their voice all sweet and young and baby sounding and delicate, and just the way it goes up and down, the inflections go up and down, and the words in and draw out. It's just extremely soft and feminine. And it's spilling over into the way males talk. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not saying that's up or down. That's another discussion that could be had later. What I am saying, it irritates me. That's what I'm saying. It irritates me. And the point is, there are people in the middle of the country or other places, or even no places, it don't matter. People have the right not to like that or agree with it, or not to identify with it, or can't relate to it. Just like there are people who have the right not to relate to homosexuality and transgender people. They have that right. It's called liberalism, ain't it? Can I be liberal? Do I have to like everything you like? Do I have to accept everything you accept? No. The only thing I have to do is follow the laws. And then if you're in the middle of the country, you're having all this stuff thrown down your throat, you gotta accept it. You turn on TV. Like I said, if I was a right-wing Christian, one of those hardcore conservative, right-wing, stereotypical right-wing Christian who think homosexuality is a deep abomination, and believe me, there are large pockets of the population who believe that. Most of them black, because black people do not play homosexuality at all. I would be offended. It'll get to the point where I can't watch nothing on TV anymore. Everything is so liberal and this and that and open up and this goes, that goes, and every time you turn on the goddamn TV, you see some transgender, homosexual type gender blur. Again, I personally got nothing against it. I even feel funny saying them because of the way the politically correct talk is anymore. You gotta find the right preferred pronoun or preferred this or preferred that. I got nothing against it. I got nothing against homosexuality. I got nothing against homosexual. Nothing. The most thing I might have is sometimes the way they talk irritates me. They could be a little too sweet and a a little too swishy, and that might irritate me. And other times, if they do it right, I might think it's kind of cool in small doses. So that's not the point. The whole idea of a man and a man being together, being in love, I have no problem with that. I understand that. In fact, it's relationship. Human relationships are dynamic. I get that part. I would even say that I am pro LGBT. I can honestly say that. But goddamn, I don't want to see it forced down my throat and be forced to accept it and see it every time I turn on the television. Sometimes I just want to watch the goddamn football game and not see people kneeling. And Black Lives Matter and all that. And that's, and actually, that whole, I think I'm over the gay media inclusion, the gay part of this inclusion, allies, inclusivity, swarm, tsunami. It's not so much the gay or the race or the handicap or the marginalized. It's not the group, any group. It's the onslaught and the push of it. It's too much. It can't work. It can't work with it being this overwhelmingly pushed. There's definitely gonna be a pushback. That's why I understand why groups like the Proud Boys, it's like I don't even know what the Proud Boys are. I have no idea, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I can see how they could be anti-groups. And they'll be probably labeled hate because of the way the laws are written or the way the media wants to look at some things. They may be labeled hate groups. I should look into that. Maybe to be a hate group, you have to have done certain things. And it might not just be an ideology, or I don't know what the standard is. But in today's media, it's easy to say, oh, it's a hate group. Because they said, one guy said he didn't like homosexuality. He didn't believe in homosexuality. All of a sudden they're a hate group. One guy says, you know what? I don't like black people that much. I'm not into the black culture. You know? I just don't, I'm not into the black culture. Let them stay over there and I stay over here. He could be labeled a hate group for having a valid opinion. And if you're liberal and you're inclusive and you're ally, that includes letting all those people into the party. You need that. You need that input to build what you're building. You need to hear and know what the racist thinks, what the homophobic person thinks. Why did they come to that conclusion? This will help you build your argument or build your propaganda or build your philosophy mission statement to have that input. And that's part of the whole liberal diversity inclusion thing, to have perspective from all sides and every side. So that means even hearing perspective from groups and people that you hate, but you're not supposed to hate because you're supposed to be about love. And you're supposed to be Christian and Jesus and embrace and love. But yet the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you feel how much you hate Trump. That's your daily thing. I can't stand him. I can't even watch him. I try and I fairly succeeded in not letting anything have that much influence or distraction or be that big a part of my worldview that where I have such an emotional reaction to it. Other than, of course, my children, my mother, sister, family, the close family. And quite frankly, even there, I'm probably desensitive. They'll probably tell you there, he don't even care. Compared to the regular person, I probably don't. Compared to some of these sympathetic fools out here, I didn't mean to say fools, I probably don't. I don't know why I went on 20 minutes on this, but I felt I did a good job. It's about nuance and discussion and being open. And I think what triggered this was Trump getting the corona. Oh, let me go back to that. And knowing that there were going to people saying karma, that's what he get. Ha ha ha. CNN going, oh, look at this. Showing pictures of the little party or something he had. And nobody wearing masks, people sitting together and they all got it. We knew that was going to come. CNN has just gotten, the closer to the election, CNN is just ruthless now. It's just flat out. You know, this is everything Trump's done wrong. They're just going full steam ahead. It's not even news anymore. CNN is the what Trump has done bad today station. And as I was saying, I knew that was gonna come. I knew it was gonna be some of that. I knew it was gonna be jokes and memes. But I also realized a couple times when something like this happened, that some of them are funny. Some of them, and I have to remember, are hateful, but they're playful. They're not meant to be taken seriously. And I personally realized I have to remember that. When I think I saw something and it hit me, you know, it was probably just written untastefully and ruthless and hateful, but it was clearly funny. It was clearly made to be funny. And I was like, oh, you know, some of these little things y'all saying, you know, about how irritated y'all are about this or that are funny. And they need to be taken with a grain of salt or whatever that means, and as a joke. And I myself needed to realize that. And I made an adjustment. So now when I look at, you know, I know it's coming about Trump and all these memes and posts and this and that. I look at them and say, oh, that's kind of funny, you know. Just like people listen to me. And a long time ago, I realized, hey, don't take me so seriously. I need to do the same thing. I need to give certain people that same benefit of the doubt, or that same perception. Don't take it so seriously. So, I don't know why that came out, but I felt that came out good, whatever it was. Sometimes when I do these and I get it out and I say it the way I want to say it, I feel like I did a good job. And I don't know where that just came from, but I went to the places I wanted to go and I'm happy with it. And my hand is falling asleep from holding a selfie stick. So I don't even know if I can put up the peace sign to go swinging on y'all 2 times for the phone. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm out.